Happy Sunday morning, or whatever day or time of day you are watching this video. All that matters is I am glad you are watching it. Welcome to our next Sunday school video as we continue our Beatitudes series and our Sermon on the Mount, and listening and finding out all the really cool ways that Jesus told people the kingdom should work while he's here. That's what we've been talking about. I am so excited to keep talking about that with you. Before we get started though, I am going to let you guys in on a little behind the scenes secret for how these videos have been getting filmed. So I know that normally I've been filming these videos outside, and I love doing that. But here's the thing. So you guys, these videos, you guys can watch them. They become available on Sunday mornings. But I filmed the videos, like right now in this moment, today I'm filming this on Thursday so I can get it ready and make sure everything is correct and ready to go so that you guys can have this video on Sunday. So right now, today, while I'm filming this, it is Thursday, and I don't know if you guys have looked out your windows today, this Thursday, or not, but there is a tropical storm outside. And so it's looking a little spooky-ooky out there, just in time for Halloween. But yeah, so I can't film outside today because it's too stormy and gross. Now here is the thing, because it is a little stormy outside and it's been extra windy, my lights have been flickering on and off a little bit. Sometimes you might hear just some loud wind because it is pretty windy outside today, but all that matters is that we are still here together and we're still gonna get this video filmed, and I'm gonna make sure y'all have a video for Sunday. That's all that really matters. So if the lights flicker, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna be fine. If you hear some loud wind, you maybe hear, it sounds like a branch fell or something like that. I'm gonna keep talking and we're gonna keep going. This is nothing more than a perfect example of how storms come in our lives. Sometimes it might be an actual scary storm outside. Sometimes it might just be something hard or stressful going on in your life. Storms will literally come. But what matters is that we power through because we know we've got God on our side and we know we have the support of our friends. So I know I have y'all who are watching this supporting me and filming it. That makes me feel better about filming it even during a storm. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that if this light flickers a little bit, if anything happens while I'm filming, we're gonna keep going because I know that I am perfectly safe in my house and perfectly fine, and everything's going to be just fine because I got God on my side, so I'm not worried. So I just wanted to give you guys that little behind the scenes secret so you understand how these videos are working, but also to let you know that that is why today I am filming in my bedroom, and I've never filmed these videos in here before. So we've got a new setting, but like I have said over the past several weeks that we've been doing these videos, between me leading this video and y'all's awesome imaginations that I know you have, we're still gonna have fun. Doesn't matter where we are or where I'm filming this. So all that to say, let's get started with today's video. As always, I would love it if we start with y'all standing up with me. If we're standing, if this is Sunday morning, let's go ahead and get some of our Sunday stretches out. If this is Sunday morning, you maybe went trick-or-treating or did some kind of Halloween thing last night, so we are tired and maybe sugar crashing from that. So we're just getting our stretchies out now. Today's welcome question that I want you guys to think of is, what comes to your mind when you think of the word peace? So when I say the word peace, what do you think that word means? What comes to mind when you think peace? Like P-E-A-C-E, peace, like this peace. What do you think when I say peace? Another way to word it might be, what do you think somebody means when they say, have you ever heard somebody say they really just need some peace and quiet? What do you think they are asking for when they're asking for some peace and quiet? Now here's a doozy for you. The next part of the question is, have you ever been quiet but not at peace? And have you ever been at peace peace with something and then not quiet about it. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about we're going to talk about his Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes for today, of course. But today we're talking a little bit about peace, and we're talking about peace and quiet and how sometimes they go together and sometimes they don't. And so we are going to expand on that a little bit. But I just want to get your minds kind of rolling. When you think of the word peace, what do you think of? What is your understanding of the word peace? And don't worry, we're going to keep talking about it. But before we do that, my friends, we have to do the same thing we've been doing at the beginning of every single video. Like I said, for the past several weeks. This is video 9, so you guys have got the hang of it by now, all right? So we are going to listen to Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. So we have to get to the top of the mountain to hear the sermon, right? So all that to say, it is time for us to climb that mountain again. Now let's go back over the 4 main ways that we have been talking about you can climb a mountain. Now, you can go for a leisurely hike up a mountain, right? Like maybe you go for hikes with your family all the time. So a hike is just marching in place, all right? It's just a leisurely little stroll. Now the second way that you can climb a mountain, if you're feeling a little more extreme, if you're maybe into some rocks, you can go rope climbing, okay? You connect your rope to the rocks, right? And then you pull yourself up on that rope, just like this, right? So this is one way, pulling yourself up that mountain. This is another way that you could climb a mountain. So what's the third way that we have been talking about climbing a mountain? The third way we've talked about climbing a mountain is some of our friends climb mountains in wheelchairs. And so if you want to wheel your way up the mountain, you can totally do that. So if you're wheeling your way up the mountain, you are using your hands and you are spinning those wheels as hard and as fast as you can do that. Now the fourth way that we have talked about climbing a mountain, and this is for my more extreme friends, is when you climb a mountain sometimes, you can pick a really steep mountain and you can go like for real, rock climbing. So if you're rock climbing, if you are literally climbing up that mountain, you're gonna need to get your arms and your legs and your whole body involved, okay? Like this arm and this leg go up, and then this arm and this leg go up. Like, you gotta get your whole body involved. So that's the fourth way that you could climb this mountain. And you know what? I realized over the past 9 weeks, y'all might have thought of another way besides those 4 examples that you like to climb mountains or that you like to go hiking with your families. And if you've thought of a different way that you like to climb the mountain, maybe you like to do some climby crazies or something, I don't know what you've come up with. If you've come up with a different way you like to climb the mountain, then you should totally climb the mountain whatever way you want. Those are just the 4 examples. So I encourage you to maybe come up with one of your own if you want to. So either way, we got to get up that mountain somehow, whether it's a way that you've created on your own or one of the 4 ways I just showed you. We're going to do the same thing we always do. I am going to count to 20, and then you are going to pick whichever way you want to climb the mountain and do that while I'm counting to 20. And then at the end of 20, we will use our imaginations to pretend that we are on top of the mountain. So if you guys are ready, let's take a few deep breaths. Let's go for a hike. Let's get to the top of that mountain. Today, like I said, it's stormy. I'm tired. I'm gonna go for a leisurely hike. I'm just gonna march in place. So I'm gonna count to 20 and y'all pick whichever way you wanna climb the mountain and I'll see you up there. So I'm gonna mark, get set, let's climb. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew, you guys, as always, killed it. You climbed that mountain, and now we are going to use our imaginations. We're going to pretend we are on the top of a mountain with all of our friends around us and Jesus and all of his friends and all of his followers. We're all just on top of this mountain together, and we're looking around at all the things you feel like you can see from the top of a mountain. I think I see the top of some houses over there. I think I see some tiny dots. That might be some donkeys over there in someone's yard. You know, you can just picture the things that you think you might be able to see from the top of a mountain. And while we're doing that, I encourage you to start calming your bodies. Take a seat, and then we are going to continue with today's lesson. So let's take a seat, calm our bodies, and we will get started. Okay, so hopefully now you are sitting down, we are calming our bodies, we are putting on our very best listening ears, and we can continue with today's lesson. So remember earlier when we were getting out some of our morning wiggles, or whatever time of the day you're watching this wiggles, I brought up that concept of peace and quiet and the differences between being quiet and being peaceful. So we are going to expand on that a little bit. Now remember, we are pretending we are sitting on the top of the mountain. We are looking up at Jesus, waiting to hear what the next part of his sermon is going to be. So Jesus continues his Sermon on the Mount, giving us the Beatitudes. In Matthew 5:9, when it says, Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God." So guys, peace, that word peace is so important that there are many symbols around the world that represent peace. People recognize doves, olive branches, peace signs like the circle with the lines in it, and then like peace signs you can make with your hand like this. People recognize those as like these universal images of peace that can bring us together. In fact, if you ask your parents permission and you use their phone, if they have an iPhone or if they have emojis, if you type peace into the search bar of your emojis, actually all of the symbols I just talked about come up, which just goes to show you how universally recognized peace is around the world. So when we say peace, like the definition of peace, we are describing being calm, maybe being still, not being disrupted. The kind of peace that Jesus was talking about, however, was much more than just being calm and quiet or having a lack of conflict. For Jesus, true peace was what he and his followers called, now this is your vocab word for this week, true peace was what he and his followers called shalom. So let's all say that together. Shalom. Shalom. S-H-A-L-O-M. Shalom. So shalom means wholeness and wellness. If you are experiencing shalom, shalom means that all of your needs, whether those are your physical, emotional, spiritual, etc., all of your needs are being met and lovingly cared for. So I'm wondering if you guys have ever felt that kind of peace. I know personally, sometimes when I'm with my family, I feel like all my needs are lovingly being cared for and met. So sometimes when I'm with my family, I kind of feel that inner wholeness and I feel like I'm truly at peace. But the thing is, there were many people listening to Jesus on that mountain who had never experienced the kind of shalom he was talking about. And there are many people in our world today that feel like they've never experienced that kind of shalom either. So in Jesus's time, Rome conquered, this is a bit of a history lesson for you. So again, best listening ears, let's put them on. In Jesus's time, Rome conquered many different people's lands. They stole land from people. They basically took over these people's lives and forced the Roman laws and Roman customs onto these people. This period of time was called Pax Romana by Rome. Pax Romana means peace within Rome. However, this did not feel like peace to the people whose lands and lives had been taken over. Of course, they weren't feeling very peaceful inside. Rome thought it was peace because they squelched anyone who had a different view or a different belief than they did. They made sure those people stayed quiet. So it may have been quiet in Rome. There might have been a lack of conflict in Rome, but it didn't feel peaceful for the people that lived there. There wasn't conflict happening in that moment, but it was a fake kind of peace. It was a peace that didn't really exist because people didn't feel it in their hearts and in their souls. So, unfortunately, there is a very long history across the entire world of governments taking over people and taking over land, saying that they will bring peace, but instead they impose laws that hurt and oppress other people. So to truly create peace, or to truly create shalom for everybody, we must use our voices and what power we have to bring justice for these people instead of just saying we want peace. So to expand on that a little bit more, I'm wondering, have you guys ever heard the phrase, no justice, no peace? And where have you seen or heard that phrase before, I'm wondering? So people have actually been chanting no justice, no peace in protests since the 1970s and the 1980s. Basically, when people are chanting no justice, no peace, it means that there won't be wholeness or there won't be peace until there is justice among everyone. So when some of us get treated unfairly, that injustice creates trouble and it creates pain in our communities, and that trouble and that pain have to come out somewhere, and it creates conflict and it can create a whole mess. Now, on the other hand, if there is justice for everybody involved, our community is safe and peaceful because everyone's needs are being met and lovingly cared for. So that's real peace. There wouldn't need to be fake peace. So here's the most important takeaway from this lesson, from learning about peace and the differences between peace and justice. I told you guys it is a lot to wrap your head around. Many grown-ups still have a very hard time wrapping their head around it, so I'm not expecting you guys to be experts in this today. But the main takeaway that I want you to remember is that God desires peace and wholeness for every single person on this earth, among all people, no matter whether you are young or old, disabled, non-disabled, no matter what race you are, no matter what gender you are, between all of the nations, among all expressions of faith. God wants peace. But what we have to remember is God's peace is not fake peace. It is a deep wholeness that people deserve to feel. And sometimes when people aren't getting that deep wholeness, when people aren't receiving that peace, it can sometimes cause us to need to be disruptive and to create new patterns and to create new ways in which these people are feeling like their needs are being met and lovingly cared for, so that these people feel like they are experiencing justice. Because with justice comes true wholeness, and with that comes shalom and peace. So this is why Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who help others feel like their needs are lovingly being met and cared for. Blessed are those people. So now that we're wrapping up today's lesson, just like every other week, I would love to give you guys a blessing. So remember, a blessing is essentially a gift. So put your hands out like this in front of you and get ready to receive your blessing for today. Your blessing for today is, may God bless you with the peace that it takes to be a peacemaker. I want you to take that truth, I want you to tuck it into your hands, and I want you to put it over your heart and act like we're tucking it away in our heart. Because remember, it's God's truth. Blessings are God's truth, and that deserves a very special place in our heart. So guys, today your parents in their email, we sent out, as usual, a coloring page with questions that go along with today's lesson. Now there's also an extra activity if you can print it out at home to do. If you don't have a printer and you really want to do this activity, get in contact with me. I will make sure this worksheet gets to your house, however we got to do it. But either way, this activity kind of helps us expand a little more on what we were talking about today and maybe help you guys understand it a little bit better, and maybe help you understand how sometimes making peace means noticing that patterns or how things are working in the world, noticing that some of these patterns may work for some people but not for everybody. And being a peacemaker sometimes means, like I said, we need to be a disruptor. And what I mean by that is I don't mean being mean and disrupting people or being a bully. I mean by interrupting a pattern and creating a new pattern. You can disrupt a pattern and create a new pattern, a pattern where you see everybody getting treated fairly and getting treated whole and getting to experience that shalom and that peace that we talked about. So, like I said, even grown-ups don't have it all figured out. Like I said earlier, sometimes even when grown-ups try to make peace, they can get stuck. Sometimes grown-ups have a hard time seeing beyond their own arguments and their own barriers. But children, y'all, are often much more imaginative and much more creative when it comes to thinking of ways to bring peace. So in the activity page that got sent out this week, I want you guys to use your very best imagination and think of creative solutions to some of the sticky conflicts and some of the sticky problems that are on that activity page. And as always, if you have questions about anything that I talked about today, if something isn't sitting quite right with you, if there's something when you're doing these questions with your family later on, or you're doing this activity page, if there's something that just isn't quite making sense to you and you're having trouble understanding it, your parents have my email and my phone number, and both are 100% always open. Never ever forget that. I love and miss you guys, and I love hearing from you. So if you ever have a question about anything we talked about, all you have to do is reach out, and I would love to talk to you more about it. So I'm going to close us in prayer, and then I hope you guys have a super fun Halloween weekend. I hope I see you at our blessing of the trick-or-treaters on Sunday night, and I'm gonna pray us out, and I will see you guys next Sunday for our next Beatitudes lesson. So let us pray. God of peace, we want to be peacemakers and justice workers in your name. We want to follow your lead in creating a world where each one of us experiences true wholeness. Please show us what our next step is today in creating the peace that our world needs. Amen. Okay, guys. So like I said, I hope you have super fun Halloween weekend. I bet you're all gonna look so cute in your costumes. I can't wait to see pictures. Be safe, make good choices, and I will see you next time for our next Sunday school video. Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye.